It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C., and this is news that you can use from CarEdge for Tuesday, Election Day, November 7th, with your hosts, me, Ray, and the kid who hates his haircut, Zach. How are you today, handsome, other than hating your haircut?
Yeah, I'm working through it, man. I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. I'm actually, you know what? Let me be honest. I'm doing great, Dad. You know why? Because we have from our two most reputable data sources, we have wholesale used car prices taking a turn, man. They are no longer going up, evidently. Both Black Book and Cox Automotive providing the latest data here that wholesale used car prices are falling off a cliff, plummeting down to earth, whatever you want to say, man. Look at this stat. Nearly a 1% decline is what Black Book says week over week. So we will
Yeah.
start the show here. Trucks and SUVs lost 1.12% of their value in just 1 week on the wholesale markets. The Cox Automotive data also paints a pretty interesting picture in terms of wholesale used car prices coming down. Dad, dealers can't sell overpriced used cars? Is that what's going on?
Um, I think that could be part of it. Banks won't finance overpriced used cars. Banks are being more particular about who they're willing to lend money to. There's all kinds of things that are involved in the plummeting of used car prices. Down go price. Well, the wholesale prices have gone down. Retail prices haven't seen that significant of a drop, and until until we see that drop on the retail side of things, consumers, customers, people who are interested, just they're not going to believe that there's any significant downfall in prices. So it makes for a nice headline and a good
But
thumbnail.
Dad, no. But let's go here. So this is now we're looking at Cox Automotive's data. Okay, we'll
Yes.
go to their wholesale value in just a second here. But one of the subheadings in their update on the used car market is this: used retail vehicle sales decreased in October. So we are seeing a slowdown in sales of used cars in the industry. Assessing retail vehicle sales based on observed changes in advertised units tracked by vAuto, we initially estimate that used vehicle retail sales in October were down 2% compared to September, and the year-over-year comparison with 2022 worsened again. Used retail sales are estimated to be down 4% year-over-year in October. The average retail listing price for a used vehicle declined 0.7% over the last 4 weeks. I'm not saying that, 0.7% decline in used car retail values is like a crash, a plummet, a bubble bursting. It is a sign that things are slowing down on the heels of new car sales data, which was also not that good. Fleet sales were even down, which we'll get into in a second here.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to, the picture I'm trying to paint is that things are slowing down.
Yes.
Wholesale prices we know typically in normal times would be the precursor to what would happen to retail prices. Wholesale prices are going down. Retail prices are going down. Retail sales rates are slowing down. That should lead towards lower used car prices, which could be perfect timing for end of year when people are going out there to purchase their new vehicle.
It should. Historically speaking, it would lend us to believe that. Um, I think the dilemma, if I can dig into it for just a second, I believe the dilemma is that the prices went up so friggin' much in 2021, 2022, that unless consumers see like a 15 to 20% decline in used car asking prices,
Yeah.
they ain't going to feel as if the prices have been lowered. I think most people are still looking at used car prices and going, this is out of control. This is just crazy. And so unless there's that 15 to 20% decline in retail pricing, which there probably will not be, um, people are just going to stay on the sidelines going, prices are too damn high. Um, and it's because they went up, what was it, 40, 50% in 2021 and 2022? Um, are they ever going to get back to where they were? Probably never. And that's the dilemma.
Yeah, it certainly is. It makes me wonder a little bit, Dad, about trade-in values. We've got Justice here in the chat. Only your trade-in value is falling. Justice, if you have any examples from deals that you've helped people with, again, back at CarEdge.com, that is what we do professionally. We help people navigate buying, selling, all that fun stuff. Bob here saying, does that suggest further erosion in trade-in values? Let's go early. Let's go often. Let's do a quick example here. I've got a Carvana vehicle, a
Mm.
Chevy Silverado 1500. The latest offer we got from Carvana 5 days ago on this 2015 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab with 118,000 miles on it in Philadelphia. They say it actually went up $300 in value from October to November. So let's do it, Pops. Let's put it into our sell network and let's see what's going on in the market right now. Maybe wholesale values are starting to take a hit. Maybe your ability to trade in this vehicle and get, a decent value for it is going down. I'll put you on the spot. What is a Philly zip code?
Well, outside of Philly, Springfield is 19064. So use that. That's right outside of Philly.
Perfection. So let's put this in caredge.com/sell. What do you think, Dad? Carvana went up $300 on this
I think
2018
Carvana is
15
going to be the highest bidder on that truck with 115 or 118,000 miles on it.
Because you think like CarMax doesn't really like a vehicle like this. Is that right?
Well, we know that there is a glut of new pickup trucks. I can't imagine that 9-year-old pickup trucks can bring, and I can be wrong, can bring that kind of money today. I think Carvana's bid might be the highest.
Again, just to pull it back up on the screen, we're having this conversation because wholesale values, I'll pull that back up, wholesale values, even from Cox Automotive, you can look at the chart here, guys. Wholesale used vehicle value index, it's down.
Yes.
It's gone down significantly. If we go all the way up to the top here, down 2.3% in October from September, down 4% year over year. Manheim, that says 2.3% down. You go over to Black Book. Black Book says truck prices, especially, down 1.12% week
Just
over
in the
week.
last week, yes.
Then we come here to Carvana. They send me for so many various vehicles, different pricing, track your value. We've got a 2015 Chevy Silverado 1500, 118,000 miles on it, and a $15,000 100 offer from Carvana, up $300. Drum roll, please. That same truck. Wow. So this is what makes this so difficult, because everyone, Justice said it, Bob said it here. Does this mean that this is going to further erode trade-in values? No. Vroom at $17,955. CarGurus at $17,550. CarMax at $17,400. Give me the VIN. We're pending on that. I mean, Dad, this is $2,800 more than what Carvana was offering. Holy cow.
You might as well call it $2,900 more. Yeah, I apparently there's no rhyme or reason to the marketplace. I will say this: I am ever so thankful that I am not involved in the car business beyond talking about it with you on a daily basis. To actually have to sit in a dealership and put a number on a car today to try and figure out what a real honest to goodness trade value is, an actual cash value on a trade, it's virtually impossible, because that truck should be like a $12,000 truck if it's anything at all, not an $18,000 truck. So yeah, I'm glad I don't have to sign my name to any appraisal slips these days.
I think that's the truth, man. It totally is, because it's like a crapshoot. Again, you look at the macro data and it's like, okay, values are going down. The market's slowing down. Then you look at what these big publicly traded, online bidding. I want to do one more, because I truly find this to be fascinating.
The thing that drives me crazy about it, it's a 9-year-old truck with 118,000 miles on it.
So let's do another example.
Finance it. How do you sell that truck to somebody and find a bank to lend money against that for any extended period of time, so that somebody can. How? Why would, as a bank? Why would you on a 9-year-old truck with 100? There was a time, not all that long ago, where if a vehicle had 100,000 miles or more on it, banks weren't interested in financing them at all. Now, vehicles with 118,000 miles that are going to sell, if these numbers are correct, are going to retail for $21,000. Well, ain't nobody walking in with cash for that. So you got to expect the bank to find who's going to finance that for 5 years or 4 years or even 3 years. It's just the whole thing. The whole thing's nuts. Just nuts.
So who's taking the losses here while you were going through that? I just entered in another vehicle, so we'll take a look in just a second. Who's eating the loss here? I guess there must be a customer coming in paying cash for these things. Like,
well,
that has
who's
to
eating
be.
the loss here is the American public. Okay, because Vroom and Car Gurus and CarMax couldn't afford to offer what they're offering if they didn't think that they could actually turn around and sell it for some type of profit. So apparently there's still enough people out there that have no idea what things are worth or should be worth and pay way more for it than they absolutely should. I was only in the business for 43 years. There's no way a 9-year-old truck, I don't care what kind of condition it's in, a 9-year-old truck with 118,000 miles on it is worth $18,000. It's a $10,000 to $12,000 truck in the real world where you're dealing with real values. And this is like fantasy football. I mean, we're just making up numbers as we go along. It doesn't bear any resemblance to reality.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's do another one. So Carvana, I'm also tracking a newer with fewer miles, 2020 GMC Sierra 1500 double cab. It's got 41,600 miles on it in Phoenix, Arizona. Carvana has said that this vehicle has dropped off a bit of a cliff. Okay. It used to be worth $29,200. Then it went down 3.4% to $28,200. That's the offer from Carvana. Do you think the offers from the other competitors will be higher or lower?
I feel like I'm on The Price is Right, but I'm going to say higher, Bob.
This is a kind of fun game. Look at that, Dad. CarMax at $31,600, $3,400 higher than Carvana. Echo Park at $28,006, Car Gurus at $27,590, Vroom at $25,585. It's almost like picking stocks, man. Like, how can there be a $6,000 difference here in offers? Like, to your point about not wanting to put numbers on cars, this is a perfect example of that.
Well, how it could be is because some are based on reality and some are based on fantasy.
But CarMax is supposed to be the adult in the room, Dad. They're supposed to be the ones that know what they're doing.
Exactly. And the fantasy is that they know that there's a retail customer out there that's going to pay more than that for that vehicle, even though it's probably a $25,000 truck. But
you know what I'm curious? Sorry, we're going to do, I hate to harp on this, but I think it's really interesting. We also have back in when you log into your CarEdge account, we also have, I think it's under tools. Yeah, Black Book.
Yes.
So let's actually run the Black Book number for this as well. So we've gotten the cash offers. The odometer was 41,600 miles. What do you think? Do you think the book value, Dad, is going to be higher or lower than the cash offers?
Oh, it's going to be lower.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. So Black Book says that in average condition, this is a $35,855 truck. That is $6,000 more than the highest CarMax offer.
Well, in average condition, it's $4,000 more. Or whatever.
Yeah, 4,000. Yeah, you're right, 4,000. Because CarMax again was at $31,600. Carvana, the The same vehicle with Carvana is a $28,200 cash offer. Black Book says it's a retail $38,150 vehicle.
Even on private sale, it's it's a 37,000. I don't know. I'll say it again. I am ever so thankful I'm not in the business. I am ever so thankful I don't have to try and figure out what a wholesale or a retail value is on a pre-owned car today. I there's just too many variables and too many times that you can bet wrong. Yeah, pickup trucks are very popular in the Phoenix area, and the good thing about them in the Phoenix area is there's very little rust, if there's rust at all. But still, it seems so inflated, and the fact that there are people out there who apparently will buy them for that kind of money on a retail base. It just shocks the hell out of me. It really does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I couldn't be in retail automotive today.
Yeah, completely agree. It is pretty wild. All right, let's switch gears. Dad, we had a comment come in from Taker610. Thank you for this. I saw a 2022 Hummer EV Edition 1 with 849 miles on it, listed at $185,000 by Better Cars Colorado on cars.com. They gave it their, quote, good deal rating.
Yeah, it's a really good deal to pay $185,000 for a 2-year-old Hummer EV, even though it only has 849 miles on it. Yeah, sure. What the hell? I'm gonna give it a great deal rating. Great for the dealer selling it. Yeah.
Writing those algorithms, it's hard work, folks. So sometimes they can make mistakes, evidently. All right, Dad. Speaking of mistakes, we've got man, should we do it this early? Can the rest of the show be all really you've got to be kidding me? I guess it
very well could be.
All right, yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Really? You gotta be kidding me.
All right, folks, we will start here. Unfortunate news out of pickup truck land. Ford, Chevrolet, Ram crew cab pickups fall short on IIHS crash test. The 2023 Ford F-150, Chevy Silverado 1500, and Ram 1500 crew cab pickups were rated as, quote, poor in the Institute's revised moderate overlap front crash test. So we've got millions of these big old full-size pickup trucks on the road. And the headline in the industry publication Automotive News today is that they all fell short. Not all, but Ford, Chevy, and Ram, their flagships, all fell short and were rated poor in the new overlap front crash test.
What did I say? What did I say in the email I sent to you about that?
I don't remember. What did you say?
What's big, bad, and popular and doesn't crash test well? One of the most popular vehicles out there seem to be pickup trucks. Okay, so we have more Americans driving these pickup trucks that, well, if they hit each other, that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing because it's not going to be as safe for them as the SUV they might have been driving or the sedan they might have been driving. But we don't. The buying public really doesn't seem to care. We want a pickup truck, and how many times do we see pickup trucks on the road, and very rarely are they doing anything with the pickup truck that, well, a pickup truck was invented for in the first place, which is to carry stuff, which is to be a utility type vehicle. And people treat them as just, well, like these large luxury vehicles that just happen to have this open air space in the back, that we can throw our Yeti cooler into, and because, it just wouldn't fit in the back seat. Man, I say this way too often, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I appreciate the Yeti cooler reference. You sound like someone who owns a pickup truck. So no, but it's sad when you see these IIHS crash test ratings and they're not good. It's especially sad when it's for the most popular vehicles being sold out there. Not just Ford, not just Ram, not just Chevy, the three fastest selling, most popular full-size pickup trucks. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Really, you got to be kidding me. Number one. Let's go to really, you got to be kidding me. Number two, and I will be giving you a lot of just dad FaceTime here in a moment. We have dad.
Yeah.
Lucid.
Yeah.
Lucid faces tough, emphasis on
Yeah.
tough, Q3 earnings call after slow sales and price cuts. The startup is expected to lose only $338,000 for every Air sedan it makes this year, according to Bloomberg Intelligence. On the upside, Lucid will present its new Gravity crossover on November 16th. Estimates say they will only lose $600,000 on it. No, I'm teasing there, but Dad, this is another example of an automaker that
This is my favorite example of nothing succeeds quite like failure. But the CEO might find himself out of a job soon, because prior to this, they were losing about $550,000 per vehicle sold, and that's down to 64,000. So he's knocked almost $200,000 in losses off of the huge losses that they had. The Saudi fund that backs this is, they're going to look at this and go, oh, that's no good. And this is the same guy they paid $369 million to last year in earnings, compensation for him. I'm telling you, would you do me a favor? Would you allow me to run CarEdge into the ground, but pay me way too much for doing it?
No, but I will. I will give you the chance to do your third and final. Really, you got to be kidding me. Probably the best one of the show, Dad. We have a dealer out here that is taking dealer markups to a whole new level. This is a Dodge dealer, Dad.
Yes.
I'm not going to say who, although some of you can maybe read what's on the screen.
Well, I'm trying to read. I can't see the screen enough. Scroll
up.
Oh,
you don't see where it. You don't see where it says Dark Cars Assurance.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, so are you suggesting it's a Dark Cars dealership?
I have no clue. This was just posted on the internet. You can't necessarily believe everything on the internet.
Yes.
You've got that a vehicle, a Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Red Eye.
Yes.
For $386,000. And we got to be careful here. Dark Cars is one of the dealer groups that has threatened to take legal action against CarEdge for who knows what reason. So I'm going to be very careful here. Everything that we say in the next segment is our opinion.
Yes.
This is information on the internet, Dark Cars, so please do not come after us. It's posted on the internet. It was shared with us. Please do not come after us. We're just going to make some commentary on the potential that one of your dealerships may be listing a Dodge vehicle for $386,000. Big ones.
Seems reasonable to me. I think the only thing I would complain about is the wheel locks for $195. Why? Dodge Hellcat Red Eye, a black eye, green eye, blue eye. I don't care what color eye it is. Okay. For $300 and some thousand, if you are actually considering buying it, get your head examined, take your head out of your ass. I don't care. You're going to say to yourself, yeah, but in 50 years, this son of a gun's going to be worth like $50 million because it's the last Hellcat Red Eye ICE vehicle. Come on. And then for a dealership to suggest, well, we know it's going to be worth like, I don't know, $500 billion in 30 years or whatever. So we're only going to charge you $250,000 extra to buy it. All of you, between the dealership and any potential customers, take your heads out of your collective asses, move on with life, go find something else to piss away your money on. Okay. I don't know. People just really need to, I was going to say, they really need to start using their heads, but based on that, we know people don't. And so I don't know why I rant and rave and rail about these things, because there's some stupid ass that's going to go out there and buy that. And that stupid ass might think to himself, well, I got a hell of a deal because I talked him down to $300,000.
Exactly. That's the aspect of this that pains me the most, is that you advertise $250,000 market adjustment.
Yes.
And if you end up only making $150,000 market adjustment, last time I checked, that market adjustment, Dad, is air. It's literally just profit. Like that's all it is.
And I'm just guessing, but the salesperson that sells that, he ain't getting paid off of any of that. Okay, they're probably I'm just guessing. I never worked for dark cars, but I'm guessing they're just telling any salesperson that sells that, you're getting a flat commission, and maybe it's $1,000. Meanwhile, the good folks at dark cars are just going to pocket, I don't know, an extra $150,000 in profit. So there's a couple people that are getting ripped off here. The salesperson who sells it, who isn't going to be able to participate in any of that extra profit, and I don't know, the dealership or the buyer that says, "Yeah, I want to buy that." Those are the two people really getting ripped off here, and I don't know. I shouldn't say this, but if I was a salesperson at that dealership, I wouldn't even agree to sell it. If I had anybody that was on that vehicle, I'd just give them right to my manager.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, because
I don't want your $1,000, because so I'm not going to put up with any of this aggravation that's going to be associated with selling this car. It ain't worth it. You're going to make $150,000, $160,000, $170,000. You're going to pay me a measly $1,000. And if that customer has any issues at all, he's going to come back to me. I'm not in on that. Just not.
There's so many aspects of that. And again, it's just posted on the internet. Maybe it's not real. My supposition is it's real and that they're trying to get that money because it's a rare car. I mean, hey, we understand the dynamics of supply and demand. This is also the most egregious dealer adjustment I've seen in a long time. And I wonder how CDJR or Stellantis feels about it. They see this stuff. Like, how do they feel?
Here, I'll help you with how they don't care. How do they feel about it? They don't care. They're going to say, "Oh, I hope they get the $383,000 for it," because that just means that these hot rods that we're building, they're really collector's items. They don't. They'd be happy that there's some poor schmuck out there that's going to pay $383,000 for that car. You want to know the difference between a schmuck and a putz? Okay,
no, be careful, Dad. Be careful.
The putz would negotiate the price down a little bit, but either way, they're both stupid as can be.
We're gonna jump to the chat here in just a second. We had a thoughtful contribution come in. I want to remind everyone, CarEdge.com, all the various ways we can help you save, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We
can help somebody save $383,000. Don't buy the damn car. Okay.
Back at CarEdge.com. I do want to point out under resources up here, or if you log into your CarEdge account, which is free to set up, we've got, of course, Deal School is 100% free, and Dealer Reviews. The team relaunched Dealer Reviews. So I really, really, really encourage everyone to check out Dealer Reviews before you buy a new vehicle. And if you've recently purchased a vehicle, it's a call to the community to please find that dealership here on the car search, or excuse me, on the dealer search, and then add your review. So for example, we've got Gary Rome Hyundai. Let's take a quick peek at Gary Rome Hyundai. John just submitted a review the other day. You can see it right here. Please, please, please. And then you can actually view the inventory at that dealership from the dealership page. So please, please, please go avail yourself of these 100% free resources.
You know what the good news is, Zach?
Huh.
You can't view the inventory at dark cars because they don't want us to show it. I wonder
why. Dark cars explicitly came to us and said, take our inventory off of your website.
Yeah.
And we did. Here we go. From Future Gohan. Thank you for the contribution. Hello, gentlemen. What can you expect if I go to a Toyota dealer and tell them you want a 2023 Tundra 4x4 SR5 and the amount is $52,700 and I have cash for it? Let's talk a little bit about this, Dad, because I don't think you have a pulse right here on top of your mind what the going rate is for a 2023 Toyota Tundra 4x4. Future Gohan, we do have an entire team behind the scenes that are doing these deals day in and day out. You can get discounts on Tundras off of MSRP. Can you at least speak to, Dad, how you should approach this? You shouldn't show up with like a duffel bag full of cash, right? And be like, hey, here it is, $52,700. That's not going to get the deal done any more quickly, right?
Might it might in today's world. If you showed up and said everything inside this duffel bag will pay for that truck. Um, but but I would suggest that that's not a good thing to do, is to walk into a dealership with the cash, because A, somebody's got to count it, and B, a lot can happen to somebody walking around with that kind of cash. So don't do that. Uh, I don't know what the market is on Tundras. I really don't. Our team does. So
Here, let's check. Let's check really quick
yeah, I
for
was going to say. So I mean, what I think that on a 2023, if there are a number of Tundras available, that if 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 there is that number, then you should be able to get some type of discount, I would think, or at the very least, not have to pay for any dealer installed accessories that they might utilize to jack up the price even more. But
So I'm
that's
taking a
just a thought.
that we have our fair price algorithm, but what I'm pulling up on the screen here before we look at that is like here's a dealer advertising $2,000 off of MSRP.
Okay.
So let's see here. Yeah, it just says dealer discount. So this is not tied to financing or anything. This just says dealer discount. And then let me come back here.
Of course, what we
Our
don't
fair
know
price
is if
algorithm.
what
What's
we
that?
don't know is if there's any dealer installed accessories that they're going to hit you with once you walk
True.
in there.
True. Our fair price algorithm says MSRP is a fair price. And I know, and we should update this. I'll have a conversation with Mario Space afterwards. Tundras we know are going below MSRP. So this dealer's advertising $2,000 below MSRP. Our algorithm says anything below MSRP is a fair deal. Going back to the comment, I'm not sure that walking in and saying like, hey, here's the cash, here's
Yeah,
the deal. I actually think if anything, I know you've talked about this, Dad. We kind of see eye to eye. Like the dealership still wants to make money doing your financing. So like they still prefer if you finance, it's harder to get you approved, but they still prefer
yes,
because they can make money on it. So I'm not sure I walk in and say, here's the cash, and I would use our fair price algorithm as a proxy for what you're able to get. And you
y-
should be able to. We're starting to, they're not in the dealer network yet, the CarEdge network, but we are doing some work with the Toyota dealer. And it's going really well thus far. And so I know they're doing no accessories for CarEdge customers. So I think you could get $1,000, $2,000 off of MSRP plus no accessories, at least through the dealer we're working with, and I'm sure you can find others. So I think that's like a good approach there.
yeah. Like I say, I'm not familiar with what the market is on Tundras. I think most people could tell I'm not really a pickup guy. So that's why I'm not really familiar with the market for Tundras. But I, I would I would think that like a $50,000 Tundra is a bargain in today's world.
Yeah, compared to its domestic peers. I will
Yeah.
comment that so Mark says so you should finance and then pay it off after the first month or refinance. So here's an example. I was helping a customer with a Grand Highlander. There's
Mhm.
actually a $1,000 cash incentive from Toyota Financial Services right now. There is on a Grand Highlander, a hybrid of all as well.
Okay.
There's $1,000 cash incentive. You have to finance through Toyota Financial Services. The dealership gets a chargeback if you refinance or pay it off within 3 months. But that doesn't matter to you. Like if you want to take advantage of the $1,000, go refinance it.
Let me put it to you this way: the dealer doesn't feel bad when they stick it to you, and they overcharge you for stuff. And there would be in uh, the real world, there would be no reason for you to feel bad if you stuck it to the dealer. And
I just
I'm
want to be
not
very clear.
encouraging
It's
any
not about sticking it to anyone. It's just like doing the thing that makes the most sense for
sense
you. If
for
the dealer's
you.
optimizing for profit, you should be optimizing to save money. Just do the thing that makes the most
Exactly.
sense. It's not a fight. I don't know. I take a little exception to the idea of like fighting because you used to have customers come in and fight with you, and that's not productive either. It's just do what makes the most sense for you.
Yes, exactly. But I think my point was that I was trying to make is don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Feel glad that you were able to take advantage of a situation that would be beneficial to you. Okay, your concern should be with what's most beneficial for you, and not worry about what's most beneficial to the dealership.
100%. And again, there are actual incentives out there for Toyotas and use the fair price algorithm. Mario keeps it really updated. So like truly if a new vehicle's under the fair price algorithm, that's a really good demonstration because we base the fair price algorithm for new cars off of MSRP. If it's below that, that's a dealer that's advertising a really aggressive price. Again, you then got to double check or maybe even check dealer reviews. This is what's nice about dealer reviews, by the way. Let's see. Does this dealership have any reviews? No reviews yet for Beam and Toyota, but those reviews will also show up down here. And so that's a great way to see, like, is the dealership adding packages and things like that? This is why it's a call to action to the community to go to CarEdge.com, add reviews, contribute to the community. So lately this becomes a better and better experience.
Exactly.
But even Toyota, Dad, $1,000 TFS cash. Will the interest rate be higher than your credit union? Probably. Will you refi it a month later? Absolutely. Did you just save $950? Yes, you did. Like, take advantage of these things, folks. They're out there.
Yes, no, that's the way you need to look at it, as to what's in your best interest. So
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. Well, Pops, happy Tuesday. That was quite fun. I enjoyed giving you the space to do the really, you got to be kidding me as you're a hoot, man. Let's remind everyone that we will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
9 a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, 7. It's now 7 a.m. in Hawaii.
In Honolulu, but it would still be 8 a.m. in Anchorage.
8 a.m. in Anchorage. Yeah, it's getting a little confusing. Oh, and the podcast. Thank you to everyone that continues to tune into the Auto Insiders with Ray Shefska podcast. Still the #1 podcast in the automotive industry. So please keep listening to that. CarEdge.com/podcasts to get your hands on that. Any parting shots, Pops?
Yes. If you have a lot of spare time, just let it run on a constant loop. So that it seems like we're getting a lot more listens than you would think. But I hope people are finding some of the conversations interesting. And yes, Mark Miller, steak dinner Saturday night. I was having this conversation with Uncle Kenny last night. I said, Saturday I'm going down to DC. Apparently Zach has decided to take me to the most expensive damn steakhouse in DC. And Kenny said, really? I said, yeah. He said, well, what's it costing you to get there? I said, by train, it's only costing me $180. So I got to spend 180. So I don't want to suggest to you for even a second that I'm going to do everything in my power to eat $180 worth of food to make up for that $180 I got to spend in train travel and Lyft, and but perhaps
we will likely live stream a portion of this. We're going with my girlfriend Laura and my sister Dara. Unfortunately, her husband can't join us, so we'll live stream or we'll put something up for a couple minutes there. But I'm taking my dad to Bourbon Steak, which is in the Four Seasons Hotel in Georgetown. It is going to be very expensive, very delicious, and honestly, these types of things, Dad, I don't think we've never been there before. I don't know if we've ever eaten at maybe we've eaten at this expensive of a restaurant once or twice before, but like for you and me, this is like as bougie as it gets. This is the reason to do it. We had a goal.
Yeah.
You effing crushed it. You were not only #1 in the automotive podcast category, you were #1 in the whole leisure category, which is like the parent. Okay. You got to celebrate, man. I know I love to work really, really, really hard, and you got to celebrate really hard too. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be delicious. And I hope you spend $180. They had that like some Wagyu stuff, man. That was like $300. That's insanity.
I was telling Uncle Kenny last night, I looked at their menu and they have French onion soup. It's $23 for a bowl of French. I want to know how special these damn onions are that you can get a bowl of soup out of that for $23. It's just, the whole thing is just, I understand it's at the Four Seasons. I understand that it's supposed to be an expensive place. But I don't understand the pricing of it all, because it just seems ridiculous. I mean, like a salad is $20. A salad, I'm not even, and they don't even give you the whole damn head of lettuce, okay? Or a baked potato for $23. A baked potato. I mean, where the hell did this baked potato come from? Is it a russet baked potato from Idaho? Did they drive it here in its very own little potato limousine to get it there? I mean, who comes up with these prices? And then God bless my son. he's going to whip out his credit card and pay for it. So I'm pretty excited. I really am. I'm disappointed to find out that Zach, your brother-in-law, won't be there, but maybe we'll get him a to-go platter.
Potato limousine. A sentence
Yeah.
I never thought I'd hear. All right, everyone, enjoy your Tuesday. Have a wonderful week. I love you very much, Dad. We'll be back tomorrow. And
We will.
Thanks for making me smile. My cheeks hurt, honestly, from
Well,
that. That was funny.
that's what I'm here for, is to make people smile. Thank you, honey. I love you. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.